Good day, each and everyone. I'm Shermine Gonzalez from the Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education. So, for today's video, we will talk about the properties of assessment methods and planning a test. So, let's start. First, um, let's proceed to the properties of assessment methods. First is the validity of test. It is the extent to which a test accurately measures what it is supposed to measure. In the fields of psychological testing and educational testing, validity refers to the degree to which evidence and theory support the interpretations of test scores entailed by proposed uses of test. It is also refers to the characteristic test measures and how well the test measure that characteristic. Validity tells you if the characteristic being measured by a test is related to job qualification and requirements. Validity gives meaning to the test scores. So, next is the reliability of tests. It is the scores of the extent to which they are consistent across different occasions of testing, different editions of the test, or different raters scoring the test takers' responses. It is also to measure iterator reliability. Different researchers conduct the same measurement or observation on the same sample. Then, you calculate the correlation between the different sets of results if all the researchers give similar ratings. The test has high iterator reliability. So next is the fairness of assessment. It is refers to the consideration of learners' needs and characteristics and any reasonable adjustments that need to be applied to take account of them. It is important to ensure that the learner is informed about, understands, and is able to participate in the assessment process and agrees that the process is appropriate. It also includes an opportunity for the person being assessed to challenge the result of the assessment and to be reassessed if necessary. Ideally, an assessment should not discriminate between learners except on grounds of the ability being assessed. So next is the practicality and efficiency of assessment. Teachers' familiarity with the method. Teachers need to be familiar with the assessment, know the strengths and limitations, therefore they can properly interpret students' responses. Taking an unfamiliar assessment method creates a risk on time and resources, therefore will get questionable results from students' responses. So, under that, we have time required. Multiple choice tests take a long time to prepare but a relatively short time for students to complete and for teachers to score. So, essay tests take less time to prepare but long time to score. Performance assessments probably the most time intensive. Next, complexity of administration. Assessment that requires long, complicated directions and setup are less efficient. Next, ease of scoring. Scoring need to match your method and purpose. Then, ease of interpretation. Provide sufficient information so that whatever interpretation is made is accurate. Then last is cost. assessments are inexpensive. Then last is the ethics in assessment. It is the assessment of ethics. Embedding ethics in assessment involves decision making in a way appropriate to a particular educational context or situation. These decisions involve the selection and articulations of learning outcomes, the ways in which students will provide evidence of their achievements of the learning objectives, the basis of assessment judgments, and the ways in which students will be involved in the assessment process. So next, let's proceed to the planning a test. First, steps in planning for a test. We have product analysis, designing test strategy, defining objectives, establish test criteria, planning resource allocation, planning setup of test environment, determine test schedule and estimation, establish test deliverables. Then next is the table of specification. It is the table of specifications, or the TOS, is a tool used to ensure that a test or assessment measures the content and thinking skills that the test intends to measure. Thus, when used approximately, it can provide response content and construct example response process and validity evidence.